today is space junk. If it's still up there after even one orbit, we know that it's traveling at least about 17,000 miles an hour. A majority of space junk is in low Earth orbit. That's kind of the orbits just outside of the atmosphere, pretty close to the Earth. And the thing is, up there, those pieces will float around almost forever because there's no air resistance to slow it down and bring it back to Earth or burn it up or anything like that. How much space junk is up there? There's a lot of space junk, tens of thousands of pieces out there. Numbers vary widely, and it kind of depends on how you're measuring it, how you're counting it, considering size and things like that. There's this idea called the Kessler Syndrome. It sounds very medical, but in this case, we've applied it to a very bad situation in space. There's so much space junk that it creates more space junk. Say you have two satellites collide, then they make a bunch of space junk, and they may take down 4 satellites. And those 4 satellites make a ton of junk, and they take down each 2. And they sort of this runaway space junk situation. Maybe we've already hit this critical mass where things are just going to get worse and worse, but it's getting worse slowly. Maybe we're not there, and maybe when it does happen, it would get really bad really fast. We really don't know. We don't have a great understanding of that, but it sounds really bad anyway. So space junk, we've determined we have a lot of it, but what are we going to do about it? There's a few things we can do about it. On the International Space Station, there are people living up there. We want them to be safe and happy. We don't want the International Space Station to be hit by large objects. So what's cool is that when we know some space junk is going to come by the International Space Station, we'll move the International Space Station. If for some reason we can't get the International Space Station way out of the way, they'll actually have the astronauts hang out in the escape module capsule. It's currently the Soyuz, but it could be others in the future. They're a lot better protected from things like space junk because they're also designed to withstand the punishment of re-entry. So you can also throw little pebbles and space junk at it, and it's going to be okay. And if something really bad happened to the space station, well, you can just seal it up from the capsule and come on home. We'll figure out how to fix it later. So if you're in space and space junk is on its way and you're in danger, you can go to a safe place. Besides just getting out of the way, you can also design your spacecraft to be more resilient against space junk, space debris. The most common thing is called a Whipple Shield. It's like this external skin or like layer of material, usually made out of metal, that's on the outside of the spacecraft. And so what happens is when space junk is heading towards the spacecraft, the first thing it hits is this Whipple Shield. A lot of energy is transferred to that Whipple Shield from that space junk. If the Whipple Shield doesn't stop it, it will take a lot of energy from the space junk, and in a lot of cases will actually cause the space junk to sort of disintegrate. A mist or a dust of this space junk actually hitting the spacecraft, and it's a lot easier to protect against that. And then say if you, for whatever reason, had a lot of space junk hit it, you can just replace that shield. So that's space junk. It's a little scary. It's a little awesome, but now you know where it comes from, what we do about it, and possibly the future. This has been another episode of So Much Science. I'm Brian Costanza. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and support us on Patreon, subscribe to the channel, or share with your friends. Thanks. So I was saying that if the kind of up, you know, out away from the Earth. Oh, we didn't even talk about how to get rid of it. This is too long of an outro.